For this base camp adventure, we return to Scotland, to the world famous dramatic landscapes of Glencoe, where we pitch up on the beautiful shores of Loch Linnie. From here we immerse ourselves into Scottish history, hike into Glencoe in search of the hidden valley. We set out to discover some of Scotland's famous landmarks and fully immerse ourselves in Scotland's diverse landscapes, which consist of dramatic mountains, glens, forests, moorlands and highly indented coastline. Join us on this most epic of adventures. For this trip, we are staying at the Invercoe Caravan and Motorhome Park in Glencoe, and we have secured a front row seat with uninterrupted views across the beautiful Loch Linnie. All the pictures on the park have the backdrop of the incredible Glencoe range. The touring pictures on the park all have superb views of the loch. There are static style caravans on site, as well as very cute wooden pods that can be hired. And finally, there is a very generous facilities block. The sum of all these parts equals a beautiful campsite in the heart of the Scottish Highlands. The journey to Glencoe took us 8 hours, and once we crossed the border into Scotland, we towed the base camp through some incredible landscapes. We made several stops en route, with one of them being on the south shores of Loch Lomond. And it was here that we enjoyed our hard-earned picnic, with the backdrop of Loch Lomond. What a stunning view. We eventually arrived to our pitch with the backdrop of the beautiful Loch Linnie. Fatigued after such a long journey, and with instructions from the warden to position the caravan centre to the grey drain at the bottom of the pitch, I used the best gadget in the world, the motor mover, to position the base camp exactly where I need to put it. So here we are at Invercoe Highland Holidays. After an 8-hour drive, we've arrived, and here we are on Loch Leven, and there's our pitch with Glencoe in the background. So let's have a look at the setup. So it's the usual setup. So we've got the hitch cover by Bags of Fun Creations, we love that, and of course underneath got the hitch lock, electric hookup, 25-metre cable because of the distance to the actual electric itself, fully serviced pitch. So I've got the Acarol connected to the water, and I've also got the external shower hooked on to clean the dog's paws. There's a mat on the floor that I clean the paws on. It's got the Glencoe wheel lock as usual, and then got the grey water connected to the drain at the pitch, and obviously I've got like a loop there so that the water has to go uphill, if you like, to create like a lock to keep the smells of the drains from coming out. As we come round, we've got the Vango RVA2 awning on. It's the second time we've had it out. So we've got some good traditional Scottish weather ahead for our stay, so it'll be good to test this awning out in the bad weather and see what it's like. So So this is new to us, it's a used, we bought this second hand. So we put it up. And we've got our camper Dometic 200 carpet down. And there's a ground sheet underneath that as well. So we'll see how this performs. And absolutely tremendous views in all directions. Following a period of rest and recuperation, we head to the local tavern, the Glencoe Inn, to sample some Scottish hospitality and a wee dram. So we're back from the pub. It's a bit of a wild night out there. The dog's in her favourite spot. And the wife is cooking us both something absolutely delicious to eat. Can't wait to eat that. Starving. So, RVA2 update. This awning is handling the Scottish weather perfectly. So, I'd heard reports that water can come in these corners here, and we ain't getting that on ours, so that's good. We're not seeing any rain coming in there. Also, there's no rain pooling on the roof section, but that could be because it's so windy. This supporting beam here across the span of the awning, I thought that would be a weak point and would bend in the wind, and it's not bending. I have put extra pressure in it, mind. Yeah, we've had a wild night last night and the awning hasn't moved. And also this vestibule, this large vestibule here, is doing a really good job at stopping the weather coming into the entrance of the awning. I have to say, I'm really impressed with it. Okay, so the plan for today is we're going to go hiking in Glencoe. I've got a 3.5 mile walk to the Glencoe Hidden Valley, or it could be called the Lost Valley. It's only about a 10-minute drive from here, so we can see where it is. There's the Three Sisters and there's our route there. But if you notice, it is actually 3.5 miles, but it takes just over 2 hours, and the reason for that is there's quite a bit of a climb there. It's quite a steep climb of about 1,000 feet. So we're going to give that a go and see how we get on. What we've got to do first is we've got to wait for this rain to pass. So where that blue dot is, that is a lot of heavy rain coming through. So if we look at the Met Office, so when we look at the Met Office forecast, we've got heavy rain till about lunchtime, and then from 1 it dries up, 10% chance of rain, and then actually the sun's coming out later today and tonight, so we'll do a barbecue tonight. So we're going to be confined to barracks for the morning, and we'll head into Glencoe about lunchtime. The rains eventually pass and we are soon on our way into Glencoe. The hike into the Hidden Valley starts from the Three Sisters viewing point car park, but it is from the footpaths that the dominance of the Three Sisters can truly be felt. The footpath into the Hidden Valley is rough, with areas of bouldering and scrambling. It takes us about an hour and a half to reach the Hidden Valley, where the mountains are still very much towering above us. When hiking out of the hidden valley, the views are equally as spectacular. When we return to the base camp, we are all exhausted. However, the sun is shining, so we waste no time in connecting the kayak to the barbecue point and firing up the grill. Because you've been such a good dog and you hiked all the way in to the hidden valley in Glencoe and back again, I've got a treat for you. And there you go, darling, you get your mouth on that. When the peaceful sounds of nature are louder than the thoughts in my head, I know I have truly found a happy place. So it's another fine morning in the base camp, and let's just take a moment to celebrate the fact that the dog is on the sleeping bag that I bought her, and she stayed there all night too. Directly from the campsite is a woodland walk which leads to a beautiful loch. This loch is surrounded by tall woods with a backdrop of pointed mountains. After a woodland walk, the poor dog has to have her paws cleaned. This is where the external shower on the base camp is priceless. Loch Leven at Glencoe is a sea loch and is nearly 9 miles long, and its width is 1 mile at its widest point. There are two great things about this loch. One, there are 9 islands to explore by kayak, and two, it is home to the Loch Leven Seafood Cafe. The seafood at this cafe is fantastic. The seafood at this cafe is Scotland. We've got really unexpected warm conditions, so the poor dog is taking shelter in the coolest section of the base camp she can find. Later that evening, we are blessed with another Scottish and hypnotic sunset. Well, I thought it was too good to be true. The dog's back to pinching my bed again. Yeah, you just enjoy your dad's bed, dog. That's alright. Another RBA2 update. We're getting some epic rainfall here in the morning. Some quality solid Scottish weather, and the awning is continuing to hold up brilliantly. I'm so impressed with this awning now. I'm not getting any water coming in from that corner that I thought there would be. Yeah, very impressed so far. Later that day, we visit the Glenfinnan monument. This monument was erected in 1815 in tribute to the Jacobite clansmen who fought and died in the cause of Prince Charles Edward Stuart. The 18-metre high monument with the lone kilted Highlander at the top is providing a poignant reminder of the clansmen who gave their lives to the Jacobite cause. We also visited the Glenfinnan viaduct. This viaduct, which was completed in 1901 and has a 1,000-foot span, is famous for featuring in the Harry Potter films, and we were there just in time to see the pupils returning to Hogwarts on board the Jacobite train. A further 30 minutes drive from Glenfinnan are the beaches of Areisig, and it's clear to see why Scottish beaches are known as the best beaches in the country, and we spend the rest of our afternoon exploring. If you don't have a paddle, are you truly British? Hard to believe that 2 hours ago we were on the beach in the sunshine. Some good quality Scottish weather coming through. So we're retreating to the coziness of the base camp. Now the dog's had a good day. Some proper Scottish rain that is. We were going to go to the pub for a pizza, but with this rain we're just going to crack open a bottle of wine, and the wife's cooking us some pasta. On our last full day in bonny Scotland, we returned to the bustling harbour town of Oban. We enjoyed the famous seafood shack so much the last time we were here, we just had to return. Yeah, they're really tasty. What do you think?
Amazing.
Look at that for a scholar.
They're absolutely amazing.
They're epic. Feeling very satisfied with full bellies, we head across the harbour to the North Pier, where we have arranged a boat tour for the afternoon. This tour is around an island jewel a stone's throw from Oban, this being the Isle of Kerrera. As the boat heads across to this island, we learn a very interesting fact. The Scottish Highlands used to be the height of the Himalayas, but after millions of years of erosion by the weather, the Highlands are the height they are now, and the spoil from that erosion created the 4-mile long Isle of Kerrera. The boat then sailed across to the Isle of Mull, where we got an up-close and personal view of Castle Jewett, a 13th century castle steeped in murderous history. On the return leg to Oban, the boat came alongside a salmon farm. Although this was very interesting to see up close, it was at this moment that I decided I would be making more responsibly sourced choices for wild salmon going forward. As we approach Oban Harbour, we cannot fail to notice Dunolly Castle. This castle for centuries was the most important fortress of the chiefs of Clan MacDougall. Scotland has a number of castles built in apparently impregnable locations, and Dunolly Castle most certainly can be counted amongst them. Bringing our last day in the Scottish Highlands to a close, we return to the Glencoe gathering to enjoy a cold beer and a pizza and soak up the last views of the Glencoe mountains. The following morning, it's the enviable task of packing down the base camp and preparing for an 8-hour journey home. During our stay, we endured some harsh Scottish weather, and the Vango RVA2 awning took it all in its stride. However, the wind and rain was coming from the mountains and therefore in a direction behind the base camp, which meant the awning was sheltered by a bank from our pitch. So I'm looking forward to testing this awning in more exposed areas later this winter. And that brings to an end an epic base camp adventure in Scotland. Thank you, Scotland. You've been amazing. And thank you to you for watching. See you on the next one.